That's a burqa, that's the head covering Islamic women have to wear. When I first heard about it, I was all for it, but the more I learned about Islamic culture, the more I became against it. Women who wear the full burqa are going to be fined heavily and have to take citizenship classes, and men who force women to wear burqas face prison time and a huge fine. It's an attack on Islamic culture, and it forces assimilation into French culture, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the way they're going about it is all wrong. So what's wrong with the burqa ban? First of all, it's a human rights violation. The issue of police powers, in Encyclopedia Britannica, it defines police powers as the permissible scope of legislation for the promotion and maintenance of health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the public. So if the burqa isn't compromising the health, safety, morals, and general welfare, then it's just a human rights violation. There's no reason to have it. And also, the biggest problem is the target. They're targeting women. In Unveiling Islam by Ergen Canner, he explains the status of women as being just inferior creatures to men. They're considered literally, like, legally half of a man. Like, their opinion is, one man's opinion is worth two women's opinion. So they don't have any pull whatsoever in the political world. And also, the political world is a man's world. So they don't even understand really what's going on. Their role is in the home. A woman by the name of Lynette Hellman came into my Arabic class and guest spoke on women in Islamic culture. And she said that they find comfort in the burqa. They see it as modesty. A woman with a good reputation wouldn't be seen without her hair covered. It's an issue of safety. Muslim men see the women without the burqas and they think they can just help themselves because it's a loose woman or whatever. And also it's indicative of being taken care of by the father or their husband. A good father or husband would care enough about their daughter or their wife to enforce a burqa and protect the reputation of the woman. And the whole idea of the oppressed woman, by, lifting the burqas, it would, free them, but they don't really understand freedom like we understand it. To them, it's comfort, it's what's familiar, it's protection, so, they don't understand the whole being oppressed thing, like it's a Western idea. Some possible repercussions, an increase in hate crimes, non-Muslims against Muslims. With a lot of backup their actions, people may become more aggressive instead of just kind of keeping it to themselves. And it's just going to be like women getting caught between a war between men. It's a political thing. And an increase in hostility of Muslims against the West. Before, instead of it being like their husband's war, it's going to become more personal for women because it was the West that took away their comfort of burqa. And also for Muslim men, it's just another reason to hate the West. It's just going to like fuel the anger that's already there. And also a Christian perspective is, if you want to reach these women as a Christian, you're a Westerner that took away what they know in their culture. So why would they listen to really anything you have to say? Because you're the enemy now. In conclusion, as a Westerner and a Christian, I may agree with the goals of the burqa ban to force assimilation and kind of make women more equal to men. But I don't agree how they're choosing to go about it. The law is targeting the wrong demographic, and it's not going to accomplish anything to stir up more hostility toward the West. And although we may be tempted to let our prejudice against Muslims kind of cloud our judgment and think, well, they're Muslims, so they should do what we say or whatever. We need to like force them down or whatever. We need to really think about who this law is really affecting and what it will accomplish and what